Kling AI just released two new AI video models, version 2.1 and 2.1 Master. Key highlight of this release is cost effectiveness. Kling 2.1 is cheaper, producing 1080p AI videos with quality surpassing version 2 and 10 times cheaper than Veo 3. And second model, Kling 2.1 Master, is currently the peak of image-to-video generation with incredible prompt understanding and complex natural motion capabilities. There are so many AI video generators in the market. How will you know which one to actually use? I decided to put them to the test by creating the same cinematic video in every AI video generation platform to see which one is actually the best. Let's get started. For this cinematic battle, I will compare 4 platforms: Kling 2.1 Master, Google Veo 3, Runway Gen 4, and Minimax Hailuo. Let's get started with Kling. I will be using image to video, so all you need to do is choosing video option from the homepage, and you will be taken into the image to video mode. For generating initial images, I use Runway references. It provides fantastic character consistency and location consistency. You can find details of this image generation process in Runway section. This short cinematic story is about a crime scene and solving a crime. Let's jump into models breakdown here. Kling released 2 new models. 2.1 Master produces fantastic videos, as you can see here, with a great prompt understanding, but price is still in the range of 100 credits. We have now a new model. It gives a fantastic quality of AI video for 35 credits again. In my prompting style on Kling, I use this method. I always start with subject, action, and event happening in the scene, and after that I connect camera motion with while as a bridge in between. So a woman looks around, there is no one else besides them, while camera is stationary. This prompting style is also recommended by Kling team, and I saved so many credits using this method. 2.1 Master model offers a fantastic natural walking motion, and there are some more things happening in the background. So of course it's not perfect, but here my focus was more about fluidity of the walking motion. Here's another shot produced with Kling 2.1 Master again. You can see a fantastic prompt understanding because I ask my character to take a step and calmly show her badge to the police officer. No talk and locked lips can be really handy. You can use these keywords. One thing I want to bring your attention here is calmly as a keyword here. This simply allows you to set pace and speed of the motion, which is really helpful. If you realize with Kling that suddenly the action gets a little bit messy and more things increased, you can use keyword calmly to slow down the movement and therefore improve the render quality. Here's another very good example. I uploaded the image of my robot and I asked robot's eyes change color to green and blue again, and it's gonna be a handheld shaky camera. And I was very impressed with the handheld camera results. It gave me exactly what I asked for, and color changes are on point. It's very exact. So first green and blue again. Very impressive result from 2.1 Master. And another good example where camera slowly tilts up and woman and robot are both looking up. Note that Kling 2.1 doesn't generate automatic AI sound as you would see on Veo 3. But if you click on AI sound, it will bring you to sound effects mode. It will generate an automatic prompt for this scene. And with 10 credits, you can generate AI sound for your video footage. Note that for LipSync part of this film, I didn't use Kling AI's LipSync. For all videos, I used Dreamina's LipSync. From my perspective, it has the best LipSync at the moment in the market for an affordable price. Now let's watch the cinematic AI video generated with Kling 2.1 Master.
Special Agent Tanaka, FBI. Brief me and don't skip anything.
Victim is Samuel Fryman, CEO of Open Brain Robotics. Got shot in front of his office last night at 2 a.m.
One shot. No gun, no casing, no witnesses. How?
Analyzing vector deformation. Projectile entered at 32-degree arc from northeast elevation.
You're saying the shot came from that rooftop, but no cameras caught it?
Temporal light refractive anomaly detected. Camouflage tech brief visibility loss at timestamp 213, likely caused by cloaked EM field.
This wasn't a sniper on the rooftop. It was a gun mounted on a drone with cloaked and camouflage.
Based on collected evidence, I'm reconstructing the scene.
It's the servants. They've pushed for access to the ASI network for years, but were denied. Now they're making a point by killing their own CEO.
For text-to-speech, I use Google AI Studio's recently released text-to-speech mode, the Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview model. It's a fantastic model because it has a very natural-sounding text-to-speech. You can have single-speaker mode or multi-speaker mode, which allows you to create a dialogue effortlessly. You can easily choose any sound for your speakers, men and women, young and old. There are many options. You can hear preview for the sound.
What do you want to explore?
And one of the coolest things about this model is you can actually give style instructions, meaning you can direct the emotion of your characters. Let's say speaker 1 is very angry and speaker 2 is extremely happy. Let's cut until here and let's hear how this would sound.
One shot, no gun, no casing, no witnesses. How?
Analyzing vector deformation. Projectile entered at 32-degree arc from northeast elevation.
So you can change the emotions and you realize that now speaker 1 sounds much more angry and speaker 2 is just like, well, I don't care, I'm happy. It's quite fun to use this tool. I would highly recommend it. It is available in Google AI Studio under Generate Media. And when you click on here, you can find Gemini speech generation right here. So you can easily use it for free. And for LipSync itself, I use Dreamina. On the homepage, you can click on LipSync and it will bring you to AI avatar mode. Here you can import the initial image of your character. I would highly recommend you to choose master mode because it gives the best natural looking, natural sounding lip sync. You can of course use text to speech or you can upload the audio you generated. In my case, I use the audio generated in the Google AI Studio and I upload it here. Looking at the pricing, the basic package is around 14 euro. It gives you 1000 credits per month. And this is approximately 4 lip sync. If you think 4 lip sync is not enough for you, there is also possibility to buy additional credits. Now let's jump into Google's Veo workflow. If you want to start the project, you can click on new project. In my case, I will use the existing project here and just click on it. For generating this AI film, I used image to video. It's called frames to video. So when you switch to it, you can upload the first frame and the last frame. Here in my case, I uploaded this first frame. And after that, you can type your prompt. In this example, I wrote woman looks at the robot and then points upwards. Let's see the result. Cool thing about Veo 3 is it gives you sound effects for your videos. That saves a lot of time when it comes to sound design. And of course, sometimes it's a little off. One thing you need to be extremely careful that you always choose highest quality Veo 3 while generating these scenes because very often it switches to fast mode and suddenly you realize that you are producing videos with Veo 2. Here's another example where I started with this initial first frame of my robot. Then I asked model to fast zoom to the robot's eye. Let's see the result. So the last part is a little bit weird, but it did a good job. It's not as fast as I hoped, but it managed to give me what I asked for. When it comes to image to video, not everything's great with Veo 3. Walking motion, fluidity, and natural motion is a little behind of Kling. You can see it here. So sound effects is definitely out of sync. And for the comparison, this was the Kling result. And you will realize that the walking motion on Kling is much better than Veo 3. And you will realize that in the end of my Kling video, I actually generated the last scene using Veo 3, using text to video, because it's just a fantastic model when it comes to text to video. It saves so much time. You can see the clip here. And this is where robots actually uprise and they are making a demonstration. And you will hear also the fantastic sound effects and robots are marching. Really great job for Veo 3 when it comes to text to video. Now, let's see the cinematic AI video generated with Google's Veo 3.
Special Agent Tanaka, FBI, brief me and don't skip anything.
Victim is Samuel Fryman, CEO of Open Brain Robotics. Got shot in front of his office last night at 2 a.m.
One shot, no gun, no casing, no witnesses. How?
Analyzing vector deformation. Projectile entered at 32-degree arc from northeast elevation.
You're saying the shot came from that rooftop, but no cameras caught it?
Temporal light refractive anomaly detected. Camouflage tech. Brief visibility loss at timestamp 2:13. Likely caused by cloaked EM field.
This wasn't a sniper on the rooftop. It was a gun mounted on a drone with cloaked and camouflage.
Based on collected evidence, I'm reconstructing the scene.
It's the servants. They've pushed for access to the ASI network for years, but were denied. Now they're making a point by killing their own CEO.
Now let's jump into Runway because there are quite a lot of interesting updates on Runway site as well. As I mentioned, I generated initial scenes using Runway references. I'm very happy with this model. It allows me to easily generate and build a universe in a very short time. I would like to share a tip with you. It is possible to use Google Street View screenshots as real places on Runway references. I took the screenshot from Google Street View. I uploaded here as a reference point, and it actually placed my characters right here in this location. I saw this tip online on Chikai on Twitter. Please go follow his account. He's fantastic and this is a great tip. You can have so many interesting new films actually happening in real locations in real life. This is fantastic. I made a full deep dive video about Runway references. You can find in the corner if you want me to go into the details. In this particular example, I also use May's full body photo as character reference and of course the robot. In my prompt while building this scene, I directly reference my character names in my prompt. They are getting out from an FBI vehicle, and I reference the Street View screenshot as image 2 that I want this to be happening in this location. I use one of the scenes I generated in the previous example as a reference point, directly dragging and dropping here. And I wanted this cinematic low-angle shot of my characters. They are looking up and no one looks at the camera directly and gave me exactly what I wanted. And there's a new cool update on Runway site that I want to show you. Now, additional to image references, you can add sketch references, meaning that let's say you have a scene with 2 characters. So now you can sketch your scene with simple shapes and drawings from scratch. This gives you possibility to precisely design your scene. Let me show you an example. Here I would like to have a side view. My drawing is not that amazing, but this is gonna be a table. And here I would like to have Tanaka, and here I would like to have robots sitting in the table. You can just use text, and I'm gonna export sketch. This will be a blueprint for my scene. I have it here. Cinematic photo of Mei and Faibai sitting in a restaurant as depicted in image 3. Let's generate this scene, and my generation is ready. As depicted, they are sitting in a table. There's a slight issue with the order. I actually wanted Mei to sit on left and robot on the right side, so that didn't quite work out, but we got what we asked for. Now let's generate our AI film using all these scenes we built. You can easily do this by switching to video mode. One thing I want to emphasize on Runway Gen 4 side, it's better to start with camera motion at the beginning, whereas on Kling side, as you know, we add camera motion to the end, and this will give you a nice camera tilt up, and they are looking up. Now let's see cinematic AI video generated with Runway Gen 4.
Special Agent Tanaka, FBI, brief me and don't skip anything.
Victim is Samuel Fryman, CEO of Open Brain Robotics, got shot in front of his office last night at 2 a.m.
One shot, no gun, no casing, no witnesses. How?
Analyzing vector deformation. Projectile entered at 32-degree arc from northeast elevation.
You're saying the shot came from that rooftop, but no cameras caught it?
Temporal light refractive anomaly detected. Camouflage tech. Brief visibility loss at timestamp 213. Likely caused by cloaked EM field.
This wasn't a sniper on the rooftop. It was a gun mounted on a drone with cloaked and camouflage.
Based on collected evidence, I'm reconstructing the scene.
It's the servants. They've pushed for access to the ASI network for years, but were denied. Now they're making a point by killing their own CEO.
Next AI video generator is Hailuo Minimax. To start generating with Hailuo, you need to click on Create Video, and this will take you to image-to-video mode that you can use your initial images to start generating some scenes. Hailuo's prompting style is similar to Kling AI. Their recommended prompt structure is you need to start with action and what's happening in the scene. She's looking at the object, then puts the object to evidence back, and in the second part of the prompt, you need to add the camera motion. Additional to being able to prompt your camera motion, you can also choose it from a list. For that, you need to click on this camera icon in the middle, and you can simply choose from a list of camera motions, or you can design your own camera motion using free selection tool. The Hailuo Minimax generates 720p AI videos, and I need to say their model is a little bit out of date today. You can see here some problems with the face structure and how robot walks. The motion looks quite off. Now let's watch cinematic AI video generated by Minimax Hailuo.
Special Agent Tanaka, FBI. Brief me and don't skip anything.
Victim is Samuel Fryman, CEO of Open Brain Robotics, got shot in front of his office last night at 2 a.m.
One shot, no gun, no casing, no witnesses. How?
Analyzing vector deformation. Projectile entered at 32-degree arc from northeast elevation.
You're saying the shot came from that rooftop, but no cameras caught it?
Temporal light refractive anomaly detected. Camouflage tech. Brief visibility loss at timestamp 213. Likely caused by cloaked EM field.
This wasn't a sniper on the rooftop. It was a gun mounted on a drone with cloaked and camouflage.
Based on collected evidence, I'm reconstructing the scene.
It's the servants. They've pushed for access to the ASI network for years, but were denied. Now they're making a point by killing their own CEO.
Now I want to show you difference between Kling version 2, 2.1 and 2.1 master for image-to-video performance. Act 1 is dancing. Starting with Kling 2.1 master, you can realize that motion of her is really fluid. It looks natural and morphing is quite minimal. I like how dynamic it looks, how she starts to dance, the movement of legs, arms, it looks really harmonic with minimum amount of morphing. Looking at version 2.1, immediately at the beginning of shot you will realize that we had some problems with hands. The morphing starts very rough and face coherence is definitely lower in comparison to master version. Then version 2, that you will realize it's quite static in comparison to version 2.1 master. Coherence is quite fine, but dynamism is not here. Small, slow steps, and we cannot even see her face. Act 2 is about rendering emotions. This shot starts with our character sitting on a chair. The first thing about master version is you will realize that sitting to chair action is not really natural looking. So that was a surprise for me. It doesn't look so amazing. And I think 2.1 Master did a fantastic job rendering the emotions very well. I feel version 2.1 did a much better job with rendering action of sitting to the chair. I think it did much better than master version. An emotional render is as good as 2.1 Master. I think both models did a very good job here. Version 2's sitting action is also very natural looking. Again, from my perspective, much better than master version. When it comes to emotional render, I think it also nicely rendered difference between extreme sadness and extreme happiness. So all three models did well when it comes to this. Act 3 is about fighting with katana. Starting with master version, I think we got a cool cinematic shot with quite impressive coherence from my character's face to body parts, and there is a very impressive amount of coherence with the accuracy of details. Of course, here and there, especially on the hands, I realize some problems, but it's still impressive. One of the biggest challenges of AI models is katana fight, with two people fighting with katanas, and for 2.1 Master, it's not a big surprise. We have quite a lot of problems here, a lot of morphings, hands mix up, the katanas mixed up, and an issue persists here. Jumping into version 2.1, you will realize that at the beginning of shot, immediately we lost coherence with the hands. Things started to get mixed up, we lost the katana, and katana is sometimes there, sometimes not. Quite a lot of problems here. Same problem with close combat, but I need to say this looks more like a dance than fight. For me, 2.1 Master felt much better, even though it wasn't perfect. Version 2, I think, gave us a nice motion, but again, we have problems with hands and katana. They get blurred out and you cannot really see them throughout the shot. The close combat looks good. At least it looks like a combat, not like a dance. You will again realize some problems with faces and hands and katanas, but in comparison to version 2.1, I think version 2 did much better. And of course, biggest challenger of AI video models is athleticism, and this is Act 4. Starting with master version, the initial shot started well, where she was gripping the pole, and it was actually there visible. And in the second part of the video, you will realize that hand grip was totally off. The pole started to fly. Initially, this shot looked good, but after that, it just looks like pole is levitating in the air. And of course, biggest problem here, slow motion, jumping over crossbar. All AI video models struggle with this, and Kling is not so different. You will realize that we have quite a lot of problems with the feet and legs, and then because of some reason she decided to jump back. The Kling 2.1 started initially well, but then pole just decided to disappear. It just vanished and she's just running without the pole. And of course, the crossbar action looks absolutely chaotic and there is a huge mess here. In comparison to master version, this is really quite behind. And with the version 2, even with the initial shot, there were many problems here. You will realize that the grip was off and it just decided to drop the pole. Same here. I mean, she's running, but actually nothing else is moving in the picture. It really doesn't look good. And surprisingly, I actually like the version 2's crossbar action more than version 2.1. At least it looks somehow believable. Actually, one of the legs passed through the crossbar here, so this action would not get much points in an Olympic game probably. Let's talk about prices a little bit. If you want Kling to generate a fast track, and in order to be able to generate with 1080p, and for watermark removal, you definitely need a package. Standard monthly subscription comes with $7 per month with 660 credits and $32.56 per month with 3,000 credits. So if you generate with version 2.1 Master, the 3,000 credits will end very quickly. But if you use version 2.1, it's actually quite a lot of videos. The version 2.1 is a decent model. In comparison to master version, there are some coherence issues I've noticed. So master version is much more consistent and the faces, the hands, the action looks much more coherent. However, version 2.1 is much cheaper. 45 credits for 5 seconds video, I think is a good deal, especially if you purchase one of these packages. Veo 3 on Flow is definitely not the best deal for me. The price tag is way too high. And you also saw in the comparison that you get much inferior image to video quality in comparison to Kling. For text to video, it's simply fantastic. But I'm also questioning what is the advantage of Flow platform, because there were many issues with consistent characters on Flow, and it's just difficult for me to understand the justified price tag with Flow. If you want to use Veo 3, I think soon they will drop it to AI Studio, you will be able to generate VO3. At the moment, in the location I have, VO3 is not available for me, but maybe it's available for you. So check this out. I think if your workflow is heavy on text to video, using VO3 on other platforms is a much better deal. On FreePic side, you have access to all state-of-the-art models, including Kling 2.1 Master, regular 2.1, Runway Gen 4. I think considering such package on FreePic site is a much better deal because you also get state-of-the-art AI image generators on FreePic. Jumping into Runway, Runway has unlimited plan, which is a little bit costly, but it's simply great because you can just keep generating without being interrupted. Runway Gen 4's video quality and prompt understanding is far behind Kling, but it has a big asset, which is Runway references. For me, Runway reference is at the moment one of the best solutions to consistent characters problem, and not just that, the multiple consistent characters and location and objects as well. But if I would be fully relying on image to video, probably Runway wouldn't be my first choice, considering that Gen 4 is at this point quite behind the other competitors. And Hailuo's current packages are interesting. For standard version, they give you 1,000 monthly credits. 8 seconds video generation costs 30 credits. So it gives you around 30 videos every month with the standard package. If they update their AI video models soon, I think it would be a good deal, because they have additional advantages like consistent characters. You can use subject reference for consistent character creation and things like that. So it's a good package. It can be worth considering. Hopefully this video was truly helpful for you. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe for more in-depth tutorials. If you want to learn more about future of storytelling, click here.